I was able to close in spite of that, reviving some very, very old leads with Jimmy and that sort of thing. So we found the money either way.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. You always know how to find the money.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say I'm on the same boat as Juliana. So, or Juliana. So yeah,
You're finding the money?
I found the money in one week. So yeah,
Nice. Nice, nice. How many closes this week so far? Just one?
yeah, just one.
Well, that's your third week on the offer, so it's freaking incredible. Okay, so we'll just dive right into Q&As unless there's one more person. I think John. John, I literally okay, it's for context. I hired John personally. So he's in here. He's going to be a phone setter. He's just doing some training. So congrats, John. You know, you deserve to be here, man. And we're looking forward to crushing it with you. So you don't got to say a win because, I mean, like, I've only known you for like freaking 12 hours now. So it's all good.
Yeah, this for me is a huge win, and I'm here to learn from Daniel, from Juliana. I just watched the testimonial that you did with Daniel, and it was amazing. I really love it, and of course, I want to learn more from you because you know that you are hustling and basically putting the effort. So basically, I'm here to win and to learn from you, of course.
Yep.
Oh, you're
Yep.
sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate
Juliana,
it.
Juliana is the standard, but we're gonna raise the standard very soon. Like the standard's just about to get better. So you guys just wait. Okay, so let's do some Q&As. I'm outside right now. I'm enjoying the weather, but I think it might rain, so I might have to go back in like 10 minutes. So let's do some questions, Q&As, and then we're gonna talk about or you know what? Before we get into the Q&A, now that everyone's brain is fresh, let's do a poll, okay? Like a vote, okay? On the last meeting, we talked about framing. Do you guys want to talk about like do you want this call now to be so let me just show you guys the Miro board because I'm in the process right now of actually customizing Juliana Dermis. I'm in the process of basically creating a custom script for Dermis. It's not going to be on Miro, it's going to be on Notion. So that'll be ready for you guys like today. It's just a lot of stuff that I realized that has to be customized, and I thought I could do it in one day, but I'm like, bro, I'm like, my output that night was like so bad. I had to go to bed at like 3. I was like, dude, I can't. Like, this is not helpful. So, um, we started with framing. So we basically did all of this. Um, I think just for simplicity's sake, because everyone's kind of new. I mean, everyone's just kind of getting used to the new framework. I would say we've covered this. We've covered this first half. Why don't we just do, a mini masterclass on this part all the way up until here? Okay, because like finding a tangible problem and an experience is honestly a skill. Like, there's a lot of shit that like, there's just so much you guys got to learn, but we're gonna do it together. Okay. If you guys haven't seen the this part yet, if you want to actually learn how to do that, I posted it on YouTube. These videos are gonna be public for now, but they're gonna probably be private soon. So just check it out on YouTube, subscribe, comment, and you can just get caught up later after this call on how to frame calls. This is helpful for setters, closers. We also did a role play. Christian was being a very difficult prospect that I had to handle, and we did it. So it was a good call, right, guys? Did you guys find value in that call, the framing call? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we'll just dive right into we'll dive into the Q&As first, and then we'll dive into the lesson later. Okay. So who wants to go first? Q&As. It can be anything, guys. We'll do Q&As on a call that you had, or like a question, or like a scenario. Anything, guys. You guys have. We're gonna start the lesson in, let's just say, 20 minutes.
So
Awesome.
I do have a question. So
Okay.
for the time being, that we're going through our innovations, I'll call them, and we're still like I'm still signing up to take calls, even though the business partner isn't present, so it's a two-call close. Do you have any strategies or suggestions? Because it's like I've tried to be like, well, like, but you're sold, you love this, it's everything you wanted, so do you really need their input, that sort of thing. Like, we've tried it, but it doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
I,
Gotcha.
I mean, I just think it's something that I can't get around. Do you
So
have
you're
any
you're just talking you're
suggestions?
just talking about how to handle the partner objection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Anything else or
No, just that.
okay? So you would say you're primarily speaking to females, right? Obviously.
Yes, but like today it was 50-50, honestly.
Okay, because you can handle the partner objection in a plethora of ways. Like in real estate, it's different, right? There
Mm-hmm.
might be some cases where like a partner needs to be involved in a decision. Like sometimes you just have to respect that. But it
Mm-hmm.
also sometimes doesn't even matter. Like sometimes you can literally ask somebody in a real estate scenario, like, okay, so like is your partner like 50-50 on everything, expenses, decisions? Like you can't even like talk to a contractor or like make a decision without him being present. Is that what you're saying? Right? And 9 times out of 10 they'll say no. Or it's like, oh, so is your growth in real estate dependent on what your dad thinks or what your brother thinks or what your cousin says? No. Why? Oh, because they're not doing the work. Right. So what do you think we should do from here? Right? So that you kind of handle it that way. But for you, let's kind of talk about your scenario. I just want to understand your avatar a little bit better. So you're talking to females. Are the partners their husbands or are they actually their partners?
The actual like business partners.
And are they male or female?
Sometimes like the day before yesterday, it was a female. Today, it was a male. His situation was a little more unique because he's in the process of like getting in with investors and he's essentially selling most of his ownership rights, but he's still going to be part owner and they're going to scale to 10 clinics. And so there's like rebranding. So there was a delay. I got him to pay a deposit because
Okay,
there's a delay in onboarding because there's
right,
rebranding and all that.
right. And for the partner though, like his partner, was it a male or a female?
Males.
Okay,
It's males.
okay. Okay, let's just I just want to make sure it's helpful for everybody, and I want to make sure I can get very specific on your answer. So okay, so you're just primarily speaking to females, and when they say they need to speak to their business partner, just really quickly, just so I can understand, um, are they speaking to like somebody who is also involved in the operations, like a female president or a female
Hmm.
COO, right? Okay,
Hmm.
so then so when you're speaking to somebody, before you actually set them on a call, are they the decision maker or no?
No. And
Okay.
that's what I said. We're going through a
Yeah. Yeah.
situation,
So
a
for
transition.
now, before it changes, yeah, no worries. Like sometimes you're just gonna have to
Hmm.
speak to people. Like sometimes it might just be difficult to get everybody on. Sometimes it might be difficult to get the spouse and the wife on. It might be difficult to get the business partner on because sometimes their schedules are different. So from the setting side, you kind of have to do better job of like penciling in a time and then having that person commit to it with their partner. But worst case scenario, if they're not on the call, then how you handle it is very simple. If you know that they need to make a decision with their partner, then you can just ask in the discovery, oh, so like when it comes to this, like, are like when it comes to decisions like this, obviously we want to factor in all the possible factors that we can control. That way we can have the best possible solution for you. That being said, like if we were to go through all of this today or tomorrow or next month, like would you be actually willing to make a decision yourself or is there somebody else involved? Okay? So you can ask that question, right? You can literally ask for partner. And that sequence kind of goes it's not in the framework directly because typically you don't want to be asking that question in the closing call because it's kind of a waste of time because it might
Hmm.
it might open up doors that you can't close, like it might open up a door like, oh yeah, I gotta talk to my dad, and then you gotta like close that door before pitching. But sometimes I just don't do that because they'll close anyways. But the reason why I say don't bring that question up is because typically the setter should be doing a better job of that. But in your scenario, in your case, you should be asking, okay, so like, do you have somebody in your like right now that you have to make a decision with? Or if we were able to do this and we were to make a custom solution for you, is there someone else that we have to factor in their opinion? Because we want to make sure we're taking everything into consideration. We don't want to give you a solution that's not going to resonate with your company. And they're going to say, oh, yeah, no, it's myself. Okay, cool. If they say, oh, yeah, no, I have a partner. Or like, oh, yeah, no, I got a husband. Okay. So you have to then basically then diagnose, just like a doctor. Someone comes in with a broken leg. You're not going to say they have heart disease, right? You're going to want to understand why their leg is broken. You want to understand how they broke it. You want to understand if they fell from a roof. You want to understand if they have a concussion, if they have internal bleeding. So the way that you do that is you understand you want to understand the the diagnosis by understanding the symptoms. And the way that you do that is by asking, okay, cool. So like if your partner was on this call, so there's a few questions, guys. So you guys should be like this is like super important. Okay. So first question that I always ask is if your partner was on the call right now, and they said, yeah, it's good to go. Like, would you make a decision like with them? Yes. Gotcha. One second, guys. Sorry. Okay, sorry. So yeah, first question. If they were on the call with you right now, would you make a decision with them? Yes. Second question that I would ask them is, gotcha. So just so I can kind of like understand the dynamic a little bit, when it comes to like this specifically, like what would be their involvement in this process? Like, are they going to be getting on calls with us? Are they going to be like the ones writing the copy? Are they going to be the ones that are going to be fulfilling the clinics? Or like, what are they, or the clients, like, what are they doing specifically? And then based on that answer, you can kind of understand if they really need to be involved. If it's kind of like like I kind of just want to like talk to them because like I respect their opinion, bullshit. Pitch them anyways, doesn't matter. Close them on one call. But if they're like, oh yeah, no, like I gotta, they're very involved and like they do this and this and that. Then the third question you ask them, which usually blows through all the smoke, is cool. So that being said, and I totally want to respect like the way you guys are running your business. Has there ever been a time where you've had to make a decision without them, or do you feel like they are always involved in how you run your business? And that's it. That question will determine whether or not you should A, proceed with the call, or B, do a proposal, right? Which you know how to do, right? Which is just cool. Like after you do the discovery, after you finish reality check, don't pitch them. You'd be like, great. So what I'll do, because your situation is very unique, and like again, like we want to make sure that we can give a custom tailored solution to you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all this information. I'm gonna go back to Joe, and Joe and I are gonna analyze this call and then come back to you with like very, very actionable bullet points. That way you and your business partner can actually have a look at them, get on a call with us, and then we can talk about pricing and talk about like the logistics and all that stuff like that. Sound fair enough? Yes. That being said, though, for us to do that, let's pencil in a time tomorrow for 5 p.m. Try to get your business partner on that call. In fact, he or she should be on that call. And if they can't be on that call, no worries. Just let us know and reschedule. And then we'll go through the proposal together. Sound good? Sounds good. Because you want to keep that leverage, right? You never want to pitch somebody and then they go tell their husband or go tell their partner and they're gonna blow the deal. And if they're like, oh well, how much does it cost? Because my business partner doesn't know, don't wants to know. We'll be like, I don't know. Like we don't know because it's like we have to get really specific on how we're gonna help you because your case is very unique. Or if they're really contingent on it, most people won't probe more. Trust me, people are not that rude. Like they're not gonna be like, well, I need to know. No, they're not gonna say that. But if they really need to know, be like, so we have an upfront cost of roughly like it ranges from like 2 to like 10K, just depending on like the size of your clinic. And then our monthly recurring subscriptions are roughly anywhere from like $297 all the way up to like $997. But it depends, right? Like we have to understand exactly what it is. And I want to go to Joe, get his advice on how to proceed with this because again, we're very intimate. We want to make sure we give you the best possible chance to hear us on our solution. Sound fair enough? Yes. All right. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like, is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And then moving forward, and like again, this doesn't have to be something that has to be done before your innovations. Like Jimmy can just start calling people and just making sure that the business partner is involved, or you can just call your leads that book on your calendar and be like, hey, like, do you have a business partner? Great, can you make sure they're on the call? If not, we'll reschedule. Right? It's just you want to closing is hard enough. Stack the deck in your favor. So that's all I gotta say. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. That's a good question. Welcome, Tristan. Okay, we're gonna do a little Q&A. I'll take a few more questions here. These next questions are gonna be rapid fire because I want to get to the lesson, which is gonna be how to do exploratory phase 1, which is basically finding tangible problems and experiences. Because that first part of the call is like, after you frame the call, that part of the call is also like a very big deal. I think every part is a big deal, but this one is like pretty big. So we'll talk about that in like 15 minutes. So who wants to go next? Christian, I think you had a question.
Yeah. I
By the
guess
way, if you guys have a question, put a 1 in the chat. Make sure you send it to everyone in the meeting because it might just send to my Fathom and I won't see it. So put everyone in the meeting, put a 1 in the chat, and I'll go in order. Okay. Even if you don't have a question, what I used to do when I used to join programs and there was a bunch of calls like this where no one was talking, when it was only Juliana or Daniel talking, I would put a 1 in the chat and then think of a question before I'm up because I want to always get the value. I don't want to just be sitting in here and not just listening because you're not going to really get any value if you're just sitting in here. You know, you need to be actually engaging. So, all right, Christian.
I guess when the prospect, and it shouldn't be like this, you know, when you're in discovery, you shouldn't get like an I need to think about it, but let's just say they do that. What's like one or a couple of things that you do differently to be able to bring up their pain points? Because like I feel like this last call that I had, the guy had a lot of pain points. Has families, he really wants to cold call, but is just stuck on the logistics, and it's ultimately what has him in that call. I pointed it out, he verbally agreed, and he's still like, no, I don't know, maybe I should have pointed the pain better, but that's kind of like what I want to understand. Like what are some things that you would do differently to bring up that pain where it's not like obvious, like, hey, I'm trying to close you, here's the pain, but more so just like compare and contrast basically. I don't know if
Yeah,
you heard
I'll
me.
answer the question in a second.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so how to answer that question is super simple. The reality is, I'm just moving downstairs because it started raining. The reality is, bro, when it comes down to like finding pain points, like what do you mean exactly? Like you were pointing it out. Like I don't, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, because like typically what I would do in certain situations where they're like super hesitant is like I kind of do like a compare and contrast, like, well, what's more risky, man? Is it like more risky for you to, you know, make the uncomfortable investment, but ultimately get to the results that you want, X, Y, and Z, whatever they said, or is it more risky to stay in the same spot, continue doing the same things, not being able to have the X, Y, and Z result?
Right.
And then you
Okay.
told me that's more like combative in the last call, but I guess, know.
Well, but I have to kind of see the call to like
Mhm.
kind of like understand it fully.
Mm.
Did you put that call in the AI?
This is a call that I just got off, so I would be
Okay.
putting it. Yes.
So download that call, throw it in the AI and see what it says. But what I would tell you now is it has to do with better pre-framing, right? Like exactly what we talked about on the call before, like about framing the conversation. And
Mm.
in the master class that we're going to talk about today about exploratory phase one, if you don't get these questions down, bro, or sorry, the outcomes, like when you don't get like the tangible problem. So it's like when you ask this question, if you asked it,
Mhm.
when you asked, okay, what do you feel like you could use the most help on when it comes to like scaling your commissions? What did he say?
He said that it was a fear of rejection and call reluctancy, basically just starting to make the calls.
Gotcha. So just like starting to make the calls, basically.
Mm. Yeah,
So you don't have like a calling process, essentially. You don't have like any way
he doesn't
to.
have any call-in process now. Like he made a
Okay.
couple of calls and he gave up, basically, because he's scared of the phones.
No, I know. I'm just trying to get you to be the prospect. So like,
Mm.
so you answer how he answered, because this is just gonna be a little introduction of how we're gonna handle this problem moving forward. Because this question is what gets people fucked. Like it gets them like, wow, right? So, and I'll
Mhm.
explain why it does that. And Juliana,
Okay.
this will be super helpful for you too, and Ariel.
So,
Um, so okay, yeah.
mhm.
So like Christian, like I mean, what do you feel like you could? Because I know Angie told me a little bit about your situation, but I mean, what do you feel like you could use the most help on? Thank you. When it comes to, I guess, scaling your commissions, like exactly, specifically.
I would say the number one thing I'm looking for is accountability. Um, you know, just somebody where I can like maybe make the calls together. Cause like right now, I just don't like the phones. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like, you know, having to make cold calls or the idea of and getting rejected. It's already happened. I'm not getting really the results that I feel like I could get. So yeah.
Well, gotcha. So before I actually go into this question, I want to get more tangible because it's like
Mm.
that's not really a problem that we solve. Like if he wants accountability, he can go to his mom, right? Like that's not really like a problem. That's just like a statement. So it's like, but that's an experience. Like that's definitely an experience. Like okay, like what makes you feel like you don't have the right systems to call people? And then he might say accountability or I'm scared or I hate the phones. Like that's an experience, but I don't actually have a problem. So
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So okay, so like yeah, no, for sure, man. Like accountability is important. But I mean, let's just be real. Like accountability, you can get that anywhere. Like if you walk into like any networking event or if you have any family that's close to you, I'm sure you can find a way to create that system that doesn't require you to actually invest money. But when you saw our ad or like when you saw what Alexis was posting, like what did you feel like was currently missing in your process that you could use the most help on when it comes to actually like getting on the phone and like dialing and making more money? Like what was missing?
I mean, not anything that I can think of in the moment. I was just really looking for that, just getting over the fear of the phone so I can at least get started. And
Do
then
you have a
figure
process
out.
to call people? Because I mean, dude, the reality is like fear and uncertainty is just a matter of like lack of belief in your current system or current process. So I mean, do you have like a bulletproof process to call people? Like why are you
I
fearing?
mean, bulletproof process? No, but I know I have to get
Gotcha.
picking up the phone. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So could we just anchor that down? Because I just want to know exactly where we can help you because I mean, dude, if you need accountability, bro, I can give you my phone number. Like we don't gotta proceed with this call. I'll just be your friend, right? But like, what do you feel like you could use most help on when it comes to calling? Because if you're saying you're just nervous, then or scared or like nervous or like you just don't like the phones, that just means like your process must not be good. Because if you have a good process that makes you feel like you're flying versus making you feel heavy, would you feel like you would be doing more dials? Yeah.
Huh?
So I guess like when it comes to making more money in real estate, what makes you feel like you're uncertain about your process? Like what do you feel like you could use most help on
I
specifically?
just don't wanna I don't wanna sound pushy on the phones. I feel like I got rejected
Oh.
because I feel like I'm pushing for the sale and I really don't know how to objection handle. I guess it's the scripts in a sense.
Oh, okay, okay. There, yeah, perfect, man. Yeah, 100%, man. So now I anchored the problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go through the
Why didn't
experience.
I do that? That makes so much more
So
sense.
so now I say, okay, so like what was the experience that shaped him? So here's how I ask that question. I don't say this because it's kind of like surface level. What I
Mhm,
say is no worries, bro. Or no worries, man.
mhm.
Um, when it comes to the scripts, I get that. There's a lot of stuff online. I mean, there's a lot of resources there, and I'm sure if you're working with a brokerage, I'm sure they've given you some training, but when it comes to actually calling, handling objections, not pushing for the sale, what do you feel like makes it harder than it should be? It makes you feel like you could use more help on that specifically. Why?
Because I've done multiple calls where I've gotten objections in all of them and I had no idea how to handle them. I kind of just stay stuck
Shoot,
and
man.
frozen.
Shoot, dude. Okay. I totally hear you. Right, so you see how like we're actually doing something now?
Yeah, so I get it now, Daniel. I get it now. What I did, my mistake was I took what he said first, which was accountability, and fucking ran with it instead of actually getting the tangible. Because although accountability is something that we technically work on, we have a mindset module, we help people out on that. I should have dug deeper on specifically what's having him think that accountability is what he really needs.
Yeah, because I
That
mean
was
like
my issue.
sure, buying like accountability is cool, but it's not a buying value,
I know that's
you know?
literally, I'm telling you what it was. I
So
bet you if I
like I
put
mean
it in the AI, it's
it
gonna be exactly.
it definitely is a buying value, but not at this part of the call. Like not yet.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
wasn't like when I pointed out that pain point of like accountability. That's why he didn't buy, bro. Of course, like it
Yeah,
wasn't like
because it's not a tangible like it's not something you can grab. You know, tangible problem means a problem that your offer solves. Like if someone says they're short and they're nervous because they lack confidence because they're ugly, can I really help them? No. You're born like that. So I have to just understand what was the tangible, right? A lot of times sales reps just don't even acknowledge this and they just move on. And they go into like, oh, so like what's your goal? Or like, oh, like how much money do you want to make? Or like, oh, like and it's just super service level, it's super boring. So that's just a little segue into that. Hopefully that answers your question.
it does. It does.
So and dude, then you're gonna find this lesson extremely valuable because this is literally gonna cover all that. I kind of went surface level on you, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
really go like deep on like how to handle that. So who's next? I'm gonna do one more question or two more questions.
Angie, you don't got a question?
No
Why are you
way.
calling me out like that? I was trying to think of a question, but I couldn't really come up with one. And I'm still thinking about it. I can be the third if somebody else wants to go.
I got a question. How can we, if I were to set, how can we figure out, I guess, time constraints? Because this guy, I could have closed him, but he literally texted me, "Oh, I only have 30 minutes." Like that shouldn't be happening, bro. Like we
Okay,
should
so you mean
stay
time constraints on the call or time constraints in like actually starting your offer and like getting started with
on the
your
call,
program?
like time constraints on the
Okay.
call. Like, oh, I only have
So
30 minutes.
the setter needs to be like, hey, this call is gonna be an hour long tomorrow at 3 p.m. on Zoom. Do you have Zoom installed? Yeah. Okay, can you commit to 1 hour? Yeah. No? Okay, cool. We'll just reschedule. Yeah. There's no like magic formula, bro. You know? And this is why I say setting is the most important thing in a business. Like, if you don't set properly, it's just like game over.
Mhm.
You know?
I
Like if
try,
you, yeah.
I try my best to do that. Like I literally say, like, for context, I always end the call like this. For context,
Do you want to
the-
role play it before you explain it? Do you just want to role play it? Just like that way I can kind of test it?
oh
Or do
sure,
you,
can
yeah,
roleplay
you
it.
sure? Okay. All right, let's do it first. So let's just say you said I said yes to the call at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So just take me through the end of your process.
Okay, cool. So just for more context, there wouldn't be anything stopping you from attending that meeting tomorrow, right?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Like I said, just for more context, this call will be on Zoom. So we do require you to put at least, 30 to 45 minutes aside in a quiet space with your camera on, so you and our coach can have a productive conversation. In the meantime, if anything does come up or you, for whatever reason, like that time is no longer good, make sure you let me know so I can work around it or reschedule.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, beautiful. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
So there's no way I'm gonna show up to that call. Well, I would show up, but
Okay.
the reason why I wouldn't show up, or the reason why, no, sorry, that's insane. I wouldn't, so I was intentionally distracting myself because what you have to understand is that, people are gonna be distracted, right? And
Okay.
this is just a very basic, work accountability, because I'm gonna write this down in my SOPs. I want to record this for you. I'm gonna send you a
Yeah.
Loom later. We'll talk about it in the onboarding call. But the problem here is that there's no accountability. There's no question. Like for example, like, and this is just for generally everybody. Like I wanted just everybody to just like to say yes or no, like just like with their fingers or their head. If you're going to be learning something from a teacher, like a prof or like a professor or like a coach, like would you be more engaged if they just spoke for 1 hour straight? Or would you be more engaged if they took breaks, like took like pauses and then like asked you questions to just confirm your understanding? Probably the second one, right? Yeah. So you will never learn if you're just receiving information. And this is just something I learned from speeches because I did like 2 speeches. My first speech, I spent the whole time talking. The second speech, I kind of like ask questions. I kind of like try to engage with the audience because that's how you keep them engaged. So so you don't have to change anything. All you have to do is do this instead. Can I ask you for a huge favor?
Yes.
And then you just say whatever you said.
Okay.
And then what you do at the end is you say, so is that fair enough? Yes. Okay, so the favor that I need from you is, can you text me back after watching this 5-minute video just to confirm your appointment? That way you and Christian can have a very productive conversation how we can help you. That way there's no like surface level, like what we do, what your prices are. Like we want to just get straight to business with you and actually helping you from where you are now where you need to be.
Mhm.
That way you can save a bunch of time. Is that fair? Yeah?
Yes,
Okay, so I'm gonna send you the video now. Did you get it?
I
Yeah?
did
Okay, perfect. So when will you text me back?
after I watch it.
When? Just so I can kind of put it in my
After the
calendar.
call. Like in like
After the call,
5 minutes.
perfect. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, Angie, I'll text you later. Or so I'll text you when you text me back, and then I'll let Christian know you're ready for the call tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
All right. See you later. That's it. All right. So you see how it kind of like took more control of the conversation versus just kind of like pushing through a script. Because when you were
Yeah.
asking me when you were telling me what to do, I wasn't even listening. I was just like, yep, yep. All right. See ya.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And that usually
But
happens.
sometimes I get that feeling that the prospect, like towards the end, they're just like, okay.
They're tired. They do, then it's probably not their first. It's probably their first. It's probably not their first time getting called like that. So like you
Right.
kind of have to like be different, and like the whole point of that call you're sending them or that video that you're sending them is to frame it like, look, it's within your best interest to watch this. If you don't, then like you're just not gonna get on the appointment. or
Right.
like you're just not gonna get as much value, or you're gonna spend more time on the call. We just want you to save time. We want to make sure we're saving your time, okay? That's it.
Mhm. Makes
So
sense.
hopefully that helped, and I'll see you later today as well, okay? We're gonna do the masterclass. I'm gonna do one more question while I'm plugging in my computer for my setup. Who has a question for me?
I just had a question. Well, I feel like this is more specifically to like dermis, but because right now we're getting people just booking on our calendars. And when our setter is reaching out to them to get on a pre-call to obviously qualify them, they'll like text back saying, "Hey, I'm busy, I'm not free until 6 o'clock. That's why I booked my call then." And then they don't respond to like anything, whether if Jimmy sends like, okay, a message to kind of answer the pre-call questions. Is it even worth hopping on that call still, even if they're not pre-qualified or anything, and do my best on the call to get a sense if they're qualified? Or should I just say, hey, listen, we can't continue on with this call until you have been like pre-qualified. That way it's best, like blah, blah, blah. Like, I just don't know where to go about it in that sense.
Yeah, I get you. And it's not even about like pre-qualifying somebody. Like you never want to frame it that way. Like you never want to be like, oh, like we're not going to talk to you until we qualify. It doesn't really feel fair. So you want to give people a chance. Like you want to be graceful with people because sometimes people are just genuinely busy. And that's why they booked the call for that time, whether it was freaking 2 months from now, 1 month from now, or 3 days from now, however long you guys have your timelines. I would always make sure it's within 2 days. But you guys need to make sure in your marketing, like especially after they book the call, there is a video, a thank you page saying thank you for booking. You're going to receive a call and a text from somebody to confirm your appointment because we get bookings all day long. And we want to make sure we can service you. So please make sure you respond. And also, it has to do with what Jimmy is saying in the text. Like if Jimmy calls them and they don't answer, Jimmy is going to send them, "Hey, you just booked an appointment. We must talk before your call to confirm your appointment." If they don't answer to that one, call them again the same day. If they don't answer that one, text them again. If they don't answer that text, call them again. Like, bro, I know people who are calling leads 8 times a day. Like the same lead.
Yeah.
Like 8 times a day, texting them like freaking 5 times a day, emailing them. Like your setters have to be so good at just like getting in touch with the prospect because if someone's showing up to a call that hasn't been pre-screened, dude, don't talk to them. Like it's just it's a complete waste of time.
Okay.
Um,
I have a call actually at 1 today, and
yeah.
they had booked their appointment. Jimmy has been trying to reach out to them, and he hasn't got a hold of them.
Do you have access to the text?
Yeah, I can show
Can I
you.
see
And
it?
I have been messaging them as well today.
Okay, let's go through this. Let's go through this quick. I just want to probably show you that like they're probably not responding for a reason. And I can also probably guess like you guys are using Go High Level, right? To text?
Yes.
Okay. When was the last time you guys answered to a green text message? Never, right? So that's why I don't like using Go High Level because it destroys your pickup rate and it destroys your text rate because yeah, like green messages look scammy.
Okay,
We're in
so
we're in
some of these
2020.
are automated, but like so this is automated once they book the appointment. And then he answered here, and then this is also automated as well. And then this is also automated. And
Okay, wait,
then
hold on, slow down. Let me just go one message at a time. Hold on.
okay, so these are all automated
All right,
messages.
let me just read them. Hold on. Right there. Yeah, so first message isn't good. The first message should be, "Hey, it's Jimmy reaching out. You just booked an appointment with us. I need to get on a call with you to confirm your appointment for this time at this time. When
So
can you
how
call
would
me
we
back?"
fix these automation messages then? Because these
You can literally do that yourself. Like you can literally, I'll show you later. I can literally do that for you guys. It's fine.
okay, because then
Yeah, and
Jimmy
then wait, let me just see a second message. Yeah, no, like you don't want to be texting it's Ariel from Dermis. Like we want to make it clear that it's Jimmy because that's how
well,
you
that's
retain
also automated
authority.
too. So Jimmy's the
Yeah.
setter, but it messages like it's me.
Yeah, so again, this message also doesn't do anything. It just asks them if they can confirm the appointment. They're not really gonna like there's no urgency there. Instead, the second message would be like, "Hey, bumping up this message. You didn't respond to the first one. We need to know if you're able to get on a call with us. We're going to cancel your appointment."
Okay.
Simple. Third message is, "Hey, yeah, yeah, okay, all right, no worries. We'll fix that. It's all good." So listen, I'm gonna Frankenstein everything for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna revive you guys. It's all good. But we'll do that. We'll do that privately. We can do that later today or tonight. After I submit one thing at a time. I gotta finish your guys' scripts first. So yeah,
So
they got yeah.
real quick, I'm just gonna chime in on that. Joe has instructed us that until our calendars are full, we are not to cancel appointments. So she is expected to take that call. That's how we've all been I've been jumping on calls with people who are not qualified. If they show up, we take it just for this transition period that we're in.
If they're not qualified, then Jimmy it should just like if that's the contingency, then like okay, that's fine. But Jimmy should like if they're really gonna show up to that call and they haven't even given you guys the time of day to text you or call you back, then Jimmy should be the one on that phone call. Like literally just like switch the link to like Jimmy and then have Jimmy take it. Like
Yeah.
because it's
Because
like
I'm technically
Yeah.
expected to hop on this call at 1 and sit there for 15 minutes and hope that they show up, which they're probably not going to because they
Yeah.
haven't responded to anything.
And look, you guys are doing good. Like, look, that is great. That's a good work ethic. You guys should be showing up to every single hour of the time that you're scheduled to as a closer. That's your job. But again, listen, this is exactly how every business is ran. Like exactly what Joe is telling you. He's not wrong because that's just the standard. But like if you want to go from like 60%, sorry, from like 50% short to 80 and like have lay down closes every hour and condense your time to taking only 4 to 5 calls a day versus 12 a day, you just gotta we just gotta be patient. I'm gonna make sure that gets done. Just not push, but just like insinuate that he needs to get on a call with me. I'm trying to get in touch with Thomas. He's busy. I'm trying to get with Joe. I don't even know if Joe's alive anymore. He's a busy guy. So just tell him to text me
Oh.
back. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to send you a screenshot. We were asked for a call recording.
Okay. So just be like, Daniel will provide that for you when you get on a call with him. So yeah.
Good one.
Gotta hold the leverage, man. I gotta hold the leverage. Come on, you guys. It's all about leverage. It's all about proposals. Okay. Even when you have clients, man, you can't let them. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready for today's masterclass?
Mhm.
All right. I was expecting everybody to be like, yeah, like a kindergarten class, but no, it's all good. Okay. So what we're gonna do is this. I'm gonna show you guys my screen. Christian, you're gonna be like this is like your first communion. This is going to be super insightful for you. And honestly, everybody in this call, like there's not one person that's not going to get value from this. The setters are also required to do this as well. For context, guys, for the setters in this call, I am creating a customized script for Dermis, but what I'm also trying to do, that way I'm not doing this again, is we're hard coding a solution so that every single time someone joins the program, they literally get like an automated customized script to their offer. That way they're not like interpreting the Miro board, because if this is your first time seeing this, like I remember my first time seeing this and I almost like got a seizure because it was like so overwhelming. Like it was actually bad. But I have a format that works pretty well, just so I can manage. Actually, no, we're not gonna do that right now. I don't have time. Okay, everybody, just so that I can edit this down and make it into a module. I've been recording this entire time, but I just want to make it very easy for myself to edit it. So can everybody just do this for a second? Because it's just going to make it super easy. Okay. All right, cool. That's good. All right. 43 minutes. Okay. All right. So welcome to today's video. It's going to be about exploratory phase 1, which is going to cover how to actually find tangible problems and experience finding at the top of the call. What this is going to serve is what the questions you should be asking after framing the call, because what a lot of sales reps do is they frame the call and then they go straight into like goals first, or they go straight into like problems without actually diagnosing something that's tangible and then finding the experience linked to that behavior. Because people are going to get on a call with you not because they need more accountability, not because they want to just look at your ad. They have a problem, which is something your offer solves, and they have an experience that led them to having that problem. That experience could be them just they suck, they need more accountability, or they just feel overwhelmed, or they just don't know what to do, or they're very new to this game. So this first sequencing of questions is going to be super helpful for you to understand where to take the call. because as you get better as a closer, sure, you should be able to follow the script as it is. Like if I name it in my head, we have rapport frame, exploratory phase 1, exploratory phase 2, alignment phase, success phase, desired state, reality check, transition, pitch, committing phase, objections, partner, money, spouse. I need to think about it. Fear, uncertainty, fear, money, fear, research, whatever. So like I kind of have that down, but as you get better as a closer, you're able to kind of freestyle a little bit. As long as you get all the checkpoints done, you should be good. But this part, exploratory phase 1, is kind of like that determination or that conditional logic that will allow you to actually make the decision where to go. But if you're just starting, I wouldn't recommend freestyling. I would just recommend sticking to the way that I just explained it, because that's just the easiest way. And we're just gonna go straight into it. So the video before this, we covered how to frame. That was a 1 hour video, I know, but it's worth it because we covered a lot of stuff about how to frame in here and in here and in here. But let's talk about this now. We're just gonna cover these questions here, okay, guys? So I'm gonna need a volunteer because I wanna make this interactive. I'm gonna need one volunteer for here and one volunteer for here. Who wants to be my volunteers? Okay, Christian, who else? Who else wants to be my volunteer? Okay, Juliana. All right, Christian, you're gonna start first. So we're gonna cover this first. The whole point of this, so this is all frame. And you know what? I'm gonna start here because sometimes people mess this up as well. So what I would say for this one, specifically on here, is that when you're going through the frame, so after you frame the call, you know, you go through the question because sometimes there are people that we can't help. Sound good enough? Yeah. Okay, so Christian, and say like some bullshit. Say like, oh, I just saw the ad and I want to click, and just keep on giving me bullshit until you actually give me something specific, okay? And I'm going to show you guys how you need to go through this entire sequence, okay? But we're going to start with this one. Ready? Okay, Christian, so I guess, yeah, like, I guess I should start by asking, like, what did you see or hear from Daniel that made you want to look into this further?
So yeah, I mean, I saw an ad on Facebook, and it said that it was gonna send me some free scripts. Not entirely sure if I even got them on email, but I guess
Oh,
one of the
shoot.
Hmm?
Oh, shoot. You didn't get the
Oh
scripts?
yeah. I mean, one of the people called me, and now I'm here.
Gotcha. Okay, cool, man. So, I mean, no worries. I mean, I'll send you the scripts right now, but this call is going to be covering all that anyway, so it's no worries. You should have got maybe land in your junk mail, but we'll check that later. But okay, cool. So, but I mean, what did you see on the ad? Like on the ad specifically, what actually stood out to you that made you want to reach out and book a call?
Just I guess the way that Alexis handles objections, right? It was an ad on like how to, scale your business specifically through listings, um, by cold calling, and I just figured that's something that I want to start implementing. I'm working a lot of buyers,
Oh,
and
okay.
or if you know what working with buyers is like, but it's time consuming to say the least. So I want to see how I can, get more listings, and I figured why not
Amazing.
free scripts and make the calls, right?
Amazing, amazing. So I got it. So boom, this is done. All right. I got the specific, not the freaking, oh, I just saw an ad, or oh, I saw the script, or no. Okay, he wants to scale his business, he wants to do it through listing appointments, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So okay, so yes, okay, cool. So just so 100%, man, and I appreciate that you found value in that, but just to confirm, like you're here because you want to scale your business through listing appointments and calling, is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect, man. So when it comes to scaling through listing appointments and cold calling, I guess what's the main thing you're really looking to achieve?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm looking to I want to get better at just knowing what to say on the phone. Some sort of like structure, I guess you could say. I do have scripts, but I'm noticing that a lot of the calls, whenever there's a certain objection that pops up, or like something that maybe a statement that they say, I get stuck. Like I kind of like freeze. I don't know
Yeah.
what to say after that. And
Gotcha. So just so I'm not assuming, like, would it just be like getting better at your cold calling skills and like handling objections, just being like a god on the phone? I don't want to assume, but you tell me if that's what I'm interpreting here.
I mean, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, I
Okay.
do
Okay, cool,
see
cool, cool.
a
Yeah,
god
I
on the
mean,
phone.
yeah, okay, cool, man. And I mean, like why is that so important for Christian now though? Like in your stage of business and life, like why is that important now?
Because I don't want to work with buyers. Like I said, I want to be able to have a listing business, have more time. Feel like, working again
Okay.
with the buyers is
Okay,
just
pause
time.
role play. So
Mhm.
whatever you said there, I would just accept it and run with it. Now look, I just want to pause really quickly. So you
Mm.
might notice how I'm kind of getting into goals here, but I'm not really. I'm just priming the prospect on what he's going to say to me because again, depending on how this goes and this goes, I can determine like what I want to start with, right? But I'll usually do the call normally. I'm not going to freestyle it all the time. But if he said this to me in desired state, like if he said, "Oh, I just want to like not work with buyers." That's a shitty goal. Like you don't want to like retire your parents or like be with your kids full time, and that's what we do here. So don't worry about getting so deep in the goals. Just get like an overall thing that they want out of your offer because we're going to get into goals very deep after. Okay? This is just building rapport, building like what they want, right? That way we can kind of get a sense of like point B and point A. And then we understand like what is worth getting to point B. What does that look like? Why is that important? And then what happens if you don't? What does life look like if you can't retire your parents? What does life look like if you can't put your kids in private school? Right? So you see what I'm saying? Now, this is just very broad. So Christian, good job. Let's continue. Let's wrap this up. So
Yeah.
now we're going to talk about tangible problem and tangible experience. A tangible problem is something that our offer solves. It's not accountability. It's not just to see if you can help, right? It's not just like, oh, I just want to see what you offer. No, it's literally something that an actual problem, whether it's a job, a process, a marketing system, a freaking sales process, a skill train, you know what I mean? So it's not just super broad. So let's go for it. And by the way, we're also going to go deeper into it later, but we have to understand the tangible and the experience because that is going to lead into how we ask every question down here, basically. Okay. So tangible. All right, Christian, what do you feel like you use the most help on? So yeah, cool. So when you say getting better at calling and like becoming a god on the phone, what do you feel like you could use the most help? I know you kind of said like there were some calls that you didn't know how to handle, but like let's get very tactical here. Okay. What do you feel like you could use the most help on when it comes to getting better on the phone and like handling objections and closing deals over the phone?
I would say objection handling. Because at least I'm getting in the beginning of the call and even getting to the point where I'm asking some questions. It's not like I'm terrible.
Right.
But I usually get, I need some time. Call me next week. I can't do it today. I'm gonna be out in vacation. So, and I really don't know what to say after that. I mean, I kind of just go and say, hey, that's fine. I'll follow up with you. And then I just put them in a drip campaign and I follow up with them. But by that point, they're already listed, is what I tend to notice.
Got it. Got it. So, okay, well, let's expand on that because you kind of already gave me like what I was going to ask you later or after this one, but because again, it's different for everybody. Um, when it comes to, I guess, handling objections and getting people listed on the phone instead of waiting for a drip campaign with calls and objections and just overall sales, what do you feel like is making it harder than it should be? It makes you feel like you should be getting more advanced help on that.
I
Why?
mean,
Other than
okay.
just like the fact that your people aren't closing, but like why do you feel like it's harder than it should be? It makes you feel like you should get more help.
Well, I feel like in order to get appointments, I should be able to handle objections, right? Like if I can't even handle objections, their concerns, how can I negotiate?
Yeah.
How can I help them out? How can I So it starts there. I feel like that's what's stopping me from just being able to help more people.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, objections in sales is like super, super important. But I mean, like Like what has happened so far in your career as a realtor that's made you feel like you can't handle objections? Like why do you feel like you need more help?
I've taken so many calls to know that at this point that it has to be that. I can't think of anything else. I've taken 50 plus calls a
And you
day
haven't closed a
in
single
a
one?
Tyler. I mean, I've gotten a couple of appointments, but it's not the ratio that I know I should be. Like I know realtors who are having, higher listing to met ratio, and I feel like I can increase it. But again, that's where I'm getting stuck at. I feel like it's just the ending part of the call.
Lack of a so I guess what makes you feel like you use more help is just the fact that you're not getting as many appointments as you'd like to get, and like you're not closing as many deals or making as the money that you want to make.
Exactly that. Exactly
Okay,
that.
gotcha. Okay, pause role play. So you know what is so I got it from you, but just to like tie it down, I asked you it like straight up.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to understand the experience. It's not the fact that you suck at calls. No, like, okay, well, bro, like what was the experience that made you realize that you suck? Lack of money, usually, right? That's usually what it is. That there's nothing else that causes that. So once you have the tangible and the experience, well, I mean, bro, if I was a great closer, I could freaking probe into that right away. But I'm gonna start framing. I'm not gonna rip into him right now. Like I don't need to. I could, I want to. Like it'd be very easy to be like, how long has it been going on for, and what impact? I mean, I could, like I technically could if I know I can get back on track. Because sometimes when I'm on sales calls, I don't follow a framework. I think of PTI, probe time impact, and then I ask the question and just try to get to the root. And then because that just saves me a bunch of time, right? Because I don't have to ask all these questions and like kind of like ignore the fact that he has this massive thing. Like I could target that right now if I want to, but I'm just gonna move on for simplicity's sake. So Christian, thank you so much. Um, Juliana, let's do this. None of you guys are really BizOp. Like nobody in here is kind of selling BizOp, unless you're teaching people how to become agents, which is not you, Christian. Unless you're Juliana, unless you're teaching people how to become med spa owners, which is not your case, right? So most people are normal, which is like helping people go from good to great. So let's just say your tangible problem was that like, so what do you feel like you want help on? So you probably said that like, oh, like I just don't have like my clients coming back to me, or like, oh, like I don't have my clients like on a revenue model that like has them pay me every month. Super simple. And then the question that I would ask you before after that would have been, got it. So what makes you feel like you like that being said, and it's kind of different for everybody. I guess at what point made you realize after going through all that research mode and getting into monthly recurring revenue with people, what do you feel like made it harder than it should be to get started and made you realize like you needed more professional help? And then you would have probably said like, oh, like I just don't know where to start. Like I don't know who to trust, or like I don't know where to go, or like I've never actually been approached this before, like or like I haven't actually given it a thought, or like I've been losing sales and like I've been trying to, so it's an experience. It's a problem, and then there's an emotion tied to it, or like an experience or something that happened to it. Does that make sense? Because without an experience, you don't have a problem. Does that make sense? So what experience might you get from that, Juliana?
From what you just said,
Like if you ask somebody if they told you like the problem was that they don't have a recurring revenue model,
mhm. Well,
and
I
then
mean, I get,
and then you ask them like, okay, like what do you feel like makes it harder than it should be to get started and makes you feel like you should use more professional help from like a company like ours? Like what answer would you usually get from that if you ask that question?
well, I have, but they say they don't know where to start.
Okay,
They don't
perfect.
know how to, yeah, the
Perfect.
whole memberships, how do you put them together? Like, I've looked at, I've tried to do research, but I just don't understand the bottom
Yeah.
line.
So before you move on, all you have to say is gotcha. So just so I'm clear and just so I'm not like thinking for you, it's just to like make it clear in my head. That's another way to say it. So you mean like it's just like you're just so great at this space that like you don't really know where to start. There's not like you don't really have a clear roadmap on how to actually get recurring revenue model. Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Exactly.
So then like you want to just tie it down, right? Like if it's
Mhm.
not clear, especially in your offer, because it's kind of proprietary, like not a lot of med spas know this, you kind of want to just tie it down like you don't know what you're doing, you don't have a roadmap to get there, and that's why you're here, right? Yes, but you're not saying it like that. Like you're just framing it that way, right? Because
Mhm.
you want their problem to be bigger than it is. right?
Mhm.
Which is usually the case because that's how you lead people. Like that's what you need to do to make them see that they need your product. So let's move on to this. So we'll do your thing in a case. Okay, so you're the prospect. So you're Juliana, I'm Daniel. Okay, so Juliana,
Mhm.
like I guess when it comes to like I guess recurring revenue and like making a subscription model, like what are you currently using for that? If you're not, just let me know. But what are you currently trying to use for that that's causing you to feel like you're not able to retain clients every month?
So I think that's the problem, that I don't have a system in place. I don't have a membership. Like, I don't have recurring revenue right now.
Are you like trying anything at all to like try to retain clients, like flyers, Facebook? Like, are you trying anything?
Um, so we have a loyalty program. I just don't think that a lot of clients are aware of it. So it's not being utilized. And then I've tried putting packages together, but that's what the packages is what made me want to explore the memberships, because the packages are too expensive. And then
Right.
I don't know much about the memberships, but I have an understanding that they're just paying a small portion every month.
Oh, okay, okay, I understand. So I mean, just so I can kind of reiterate here before moving on, like what are you currently using for your loyalty program that's causing you to feel like people aren't coming back or they're not aware of it?
Mm, it's manual. I don't
So
really have a
pause. So you
system
know
in
how
place.
you notice what I just did there? I took your problem again and I put a new experience because you said, "Oh, we have a loyalty program and the experience that we have is that people aren't coming back." Right? So that's the experience, and the problem is they have a shitty loyalty program, and their experience is that people aren't coming back, and it's too expensive, and it's this and this and that. So before I move on, before I ask them, "Oh, like how long have you been doing your loyalty program for?" No, I don't want to move on yet. I want to attack what they just said because if they're using something, I want to ask them that again possibly. And not every call is going to be like that, but just so you know, like you almost have to be like stubborn to like get people to pass everything, right? If you're not doing it, you know what I mean? So I'll ask that question to you again. You kind of said, "Oh, like whatever, whatever." So I guess no problem. I get that. Like I get it. Like you're new to the space, and I totally understand. If you have a loyalty program, look, most people don't even have that, girl. So you're like already ahead. But we just have to find a way to fine tune it, whether it's through us or just making your experience better. But I guess how long have you been doing that for, like the loyalty program?
Mm, for like the 5 years that I've been open.
5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. And I mean, after like I mean 5 years ago and still, I mean 5 years is a long time, right? Like what caused you to do loyalty programs and what keeps on having you do them? Just curious. Like what caused you to do it that way?
I mean, I'm so involved with the business that I don't have time to look at other options. That's what we started with. And like, I'm the injector, I'm the one that does the treatments, and like, I do marketing, like I literally do it all. So
Wow.
it's
Wow, wow,
just,
wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. So you notice how I kind of cut you off there? Because like I was kind of like
mhm.
I just want to get to the next question. So, but like again, I got the answer, but then I wanted to like hurry up because like, um, but I'm not cutting you off in a rude way. I'm just like, wow, like, wow. So like, okay, and then
No, this is
yeah,
actually really useful because they
yeah,
go on these tangents with
yeah.
me, and I'm just like,
All
oh,
and if they go on a tangent, all you gotta do is like, can I just say? And then you just like, can I just say how self-aware you're being right now? Oh my gosh, like wow. And then you just say, well, listen, girl, like we only have like 30 minutes. Like I want to make sure we get all the questions down. Like, you just frame it. So, okay, but listen, look, so you see how what I did here? And then now, if I ask you, and like I do it in like a very emotional way, I'm like, wow, okay, 5 years, you're in the marketing process, like, wow. No, I appreciate this. It helps me understand more of where you are right now. But I mean, do you at least like the loyalty program you use now? No. It's never gonna be yes. And then you go into exploratory phase two, which we'll cover on Monday. But this one's pretty self-explanatory. Like this is not like a monkey can explain this to you, and a monkey will probably explain it better than I can. Like it's literally just yes, no, okay, why not? Oh, all right. So what's the main thing? Yeah, so I don't have to really explain that. But I just wanted to go through this. But hopefully, did everybody? And so I'm gonna share this Miro again. But again, like I said, we're gonna be hard coding a solution. We don't know when it's gonna be coming out, but it's gonna be very cool to like just be able to like give you guys all a customized script for setters and closers, not on a Miro board, but on a Notion page. That's very structured and organized because Miro is kind of hard to use if you don't have a mouse. So let's just start with one thing at a time. Christian, let's start with you because you were the one that was actually engaged in the thing. Did you
sorry.
find this part helpful, like this?
Yes, bro, because that is literally where I screwed up on the call that I just took. I took this guy's experience and confused it with the tangible and ran with it versus understanding, well, what's making him feel like accountability and not even apart from accountability, what's actually coming up for you that's making you feel like it's harder than it should be to just get
Yeah.
on the phone and make the calls because it's not accountability.
Well, no, it's not. Well, yes, but hold on. When you're doing experience, it's what do you feel like is so with that being said, what do you feel like it's making it harder than it should be and makes you feel like you should be getting more advanced help?
Hmm.
And they're always going to tell you, "Oh man, I just suck." Like that's just what you want to hear. Right? And if they don't say it, then you can literally just be like, "Okay, just so I'm not assuming like you're just trying to say nicely like you're just not good at calling." Yeah. Okay, got it. Cool. So that's it. And then Juliana, thank you, Christian. Juliana, did you find this informative?
Super, super. And it sparked a question, and this
Yeah,
is
go
where
for it.
I'm struggling on my calls. So when they go into, they give me like 6 different tangible problems when they go off on their spiel. So then when I come back in, then this is why I turned into my monologue because I'm trying to explain how we solve all 10 of
Do you
those
want to role
issues.
play?
Yeah, sure.
So let me ask you the question with the tangible, and then you just start riffing on like random stuff. Okay?
No, well, yeah, when you interrupted me, like now I get it. But yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna
All
be
right.
like they treat me.
Okay.
I'm gonna be that.
All right, Juliana. Well, awesome. So I guess I should start by asking. Okay, I'm just gonna go from the top. Is that cool?
Mhm.
Because like I mean, if I asked you right now, I might just be like, okay, okay, yeah. So this is after the frame. Okay, yeah. So I guess I should start by asking Juliana, like, what did you hear or see from Joe that like made you want to look into this further?
So I saw this ad pop up on Instagram.
Oh, you saw the ad?
Hmm.
What about the ad like stood out to you specifically?
Um, I don't know. It just like mentioned something about memberships, and I've been wanting to get some more information on that.
Memberships?
Hmm.
Okay, gotcha. So, yeah, well, we offer a variety of different things. I just want to make sure, like, on this call, we can get like super tangible for you because I don't want to like if you ask for beef, I don't want to give you chicken, right? So like, because we help our clients in a lot of different ways. So like, when it comes to like membership stuff, like, what else did you see on that specific thing that made you be like, oh yeah, I need this?
So I'm just thinking that memberships would help with my bookings, keep my calendar more full.
Mm,
And if everyone's paying, I don't know how memberships work, but I'm assuming if they pay on a monthly basis, then every month I have something secured and I'm not starting over.
right,
Eh,
right. Yeah, I
mhm.
agree. I agree. Anything else?
Well, I did see something about rewards or retention, so
Yeah, I
I
love
could use
that.
some help with that.
Yeah, I love that. That's honestly my favorite. I love the rewards program that we have. So okay, cool. So a lot of different. Okay, so I'll just write these all down. So give me a second. Hold on. Okay. Anything else?
Um, no, I think that's it.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna get super tactical then, Juliana. Okay, we're gonna get like very clear on how we're gonna do this. But when it comes to like memberships, rewards programs, booking, keeping your booking clean, keeping all that whatever, doing this, doing that. When it comes to all those things, like I guess with your med spa and your business, like what's the main thing you're looking to achieve? Like really?
Um, I guess they all tie back to revenue, more revenue.
Mm, more revenue?
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay. And I mean, yeah, money is interesting because money means a lot of different things for everybody. Like if you ask me, money, like why do I need money right now? It's like a plethora of things, and I'm sure for you it's different. So just so I can kind of get on the same page as you, like why is money or more revenue so important now for
Well,
you?
it would just allow me to expand, whether it be under this clinic with more equipment or maybe a
Oh,
second
expanding.
location. Mhm.
Expanding. Okay, very important. Okay, so you're at that stage then. Congrats. Got it. So like I mean I speak to different med spa owners like all the time when they're at different stages. So I guess I mean, okay, so I understand the main things that you saw and that interested you specifically, but what do you feel like you could use the most help on? Like if you had to think about it, like what do you feel like you could use the most help on when it comes to expanding?
Um, maybe the memberships, if once you explain to me how it works, because I don't know. I'm thinking that would be the solution.
Gotcha. I would think so, yeah. But I mean, we'll make that decision together, girl. Don't worry. Like I'm not gonna push something onto you that you don't need, or don't feel like you need. But when it comes to memberships, like what do you, I guess, yeah. So what do you feel like makes you feel like you need help on that specifically with memberships?
Um, I I don't know where to start. I don't,
Mm,
I wouldn't even know how to draft a membership plan together or
right.
and how to implement it. I don't know how.
Right. Okay, yeah. And that's super important. I'm gonna ask it again. I'm gonna ask the same question again because I kind of fucked it up. I'm gonna say that question again. But you can always recover. Okay, gotcha. So like planning, you don't really know the right steps to take. I totally hear you. I guess, but when it comes to actually starting that, like when it comes to drafting that up, I guess what do you feel like makes it harder than it should be? It makes you feel like you could use more help.
Um, just because I don't know where to start. I don't know, like, I don't even know what a membership plan is or what it looks like. So I don't know, or what the benefits are. Like I have an idea in my head that it could help me, but I honestly I don't know until you explain it to me.
Yeah. So that's it. End role play. That's all you gotta do, right? So it's like taking control, like subtly cutting them off, but like in a nice way, like you're not making it rude. You're framing questions so that they give you the answer the first time. That way you're not trying to fish it out from them again. And honestly, that's it. It's very simple. Did that kind of answer how to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would also say too, just based off your answers, it really doesn't sound like you guys are like actually priming them for the call. So I think like what we have to do
Mm-mm.
now is like get them on an understanding of what a membership program is. Because if someone showed up to a call with me, then I was selling them on a real estate program, and they were like, "I don't even know what real estate investing is." I'm gonna
No,
be like,
seriously.
okay, well, I can't help you with that, bro. Like, you got to figure that out for yourself, and then we can get on a call. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing. Um, but no, it's not a big deal. You're making money. Like you're closing. Like you're good. Like you just want to be so much better. But sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's like driving a car. You gotta change the oil sometimes. You gotta fill up the tank, and that takes time. So that's basically it, guys. So that is exploratory phase one. Like, is that cool for you guys?
Yes, sir.